Hey everyone, and welcome to Kane Chat, where I talk about just about anything and everything that I feel like talking about. And today we are going to be talking about the rumored Pokemon Stars. Now, for those this is again, I'm just going to talk about. Now, it has been technically confirmed that Pokemon, the company Game Freak or whatever, is working on a title referred to as Pokemon Stars. Now we don't know anything about it besides its possible code name. Again, this could easily be the actual game that they're working on. It could be the actual name, or it could just be a filler name or something like that. How, like, for example, how the Nintendo Switch was referred to as the Nintendo NX until they finally revealed the name. Which I guess that would make sense because, calling it the Nintendo, referring to it as the Switch say, hey, this is exactly what it's going to be about. Um, but again, I'm going to talk about this. Mainly, I'm going to talk about this for whether or not it's going to be a basic basically there's a theory that this Pokemon Star, and a lot of evidence that some magazine I can't think of, like Eurogamer or something like that, that there's a lot of evidence that points to Pokemon Stars being a third version for Pokemon Sun and Moon for the Switch. Now, it is confirmed that Pokemon Stars, whether that's the actual name or rather it's just the or rather it's a code name, will be for the Nintendo Switch. In fact, Game Freak has said that they were working on Pokemon Stars the same time that they were working on Pokemon Sun and Moon, but they had to, in a sense, stop what Pokemon Stars for a few of the previous last few months before Sun and Moon came out so that they could buckle down on Sun and Moon in order to get it ready for release and all the extras and all that stuff. Now, for right now, I'm going to discuss more on this of what it'd be. I mean, in a sense, more about what if this is the actual name, or if it's just a different name. Because I mean, it could be called Pokemon Eclipse and still work. Basically, of what the theory goes about if this is a third version and how would things change. More it's just kind of a discussion video about what, in a sense, in my opinion, what they would do, what would they like want, what basically what they'd want to add, adjust, or things like that if this was a third version. I'm going to try to keep this thing spoiler free of the actual Pokemon Sun Moon as possible. So continue on with a slight pinch of salt. So, anyways, a couple of things that are different, and a couple of things I want to point out if this is a main series Pokemon game and possibly the third version. For starters, one of the biggest changes for it would be the fact that the Nintendo Switch only has one screen. Yeah, you could go by the fact, oh, you have two screens. Yeah, but from all the things that we've seen, basically, when you want to play it on the TV, it goes in the dock. You don't use the screen at all, and you play with your alternate controller. Whether you use that pro gaming controller or you slide out the controllers and slide it on the little other thing. I don't even what it's called. That's an alternative, and so in a sense, it makes it a different. Yeah. Thus, and then of course, when you play it on the go, you obviously will still have only one screen, and you can guarantee that this it's going to have only one screen. Now, again, I don't know if it's been confirmed. Like, a lot of times they'll talk about it, they refer to it as a touchpad, or I can't remember how they said it, but it made it sound like the screen on the system might be a touchscreen. But even if it's not, or even if you just want to play it on there, it'd be a couple of changes. For the biggest one would be Pokemon Refresh. Refresh is a game that actually does use the touchscreen. Use your little stylus or your finger if you want to use your finger, I guess. And you touch the screen, and that's where your hand is. Now, they could change it to where you control the hand using a controller or something like that. kind of doubt they do that, in my opinion. But I mean, it would be, I don't know. Like they could change it like that, but otherwise there would be some big changes to Pokemon Refresh just due to that right there. And then you have the battle options. Since the Nintendo DS games with Diamond and Pearl, all your battle commands have always been on the second screen, with the action taking place on the top one, and the only thing you actually see is, you know, your health bar, your what Pokemon is level, etc. Um, Again, we could be going back to that, but in my opinion, I would prefer I hope that they'd actually adjust it, making it a little bit more like Pokemon Stadium, in a sense where they don't necessarily have to hide the menus, but it would be a little bit more interesting if they actually make it like a drop-down menu instead of constantly being on the screen or constantly having like the screen split in half. It would be very good. And like another example, like if you want to from the bag, you know, you press the button and then it kind of opens up, kind of like how the Pokemon Refresh, when you want those little tools to clean your Pokemon, it'll basically pull down from the top, you know, something like that. So it actually looks like you're pulling it out of your bag. Um, but that'd be another thing. A lot of people will talk about how they want to adjust it. If this is really the third version, I don't know. Like, it would be interesting if they did, like, basically, instead of making it that all Pokemon you can see on the overworld or something like that, and you can, like, sneak up on them or something like that. That would be interesting, and I'd love them to add it. I'm just not fully sure if they will, if this is a third version. I mean, if they're making a full-on, brand new version or whatever, then that would make sense, and I'd be like, man, that'd be awesome to add, but and I still think it'd be awesome, man, but I doubt they do that. Another thing I would love for them to do is forget the battle scene going on. You know, have the battles take place on the quote overworld. Make the overworld feel more alive. You know, like that's always one of the biggest things. I mean, like, why do you have to go into this battle when you can simply just, in considering all the overworld sprites are now the same size as they are in the battles? Why not just have it, boop, there you go. You know, the Pokemon pops up, moo. Or if it's a, you know, a Miltank or a Tauros. Anyways, you go, moo, and then you go, Charizard! And then you go, ah! You know, like right there on the screen. You know, like, forget the whole battle scene. I mean, it would be interesting, and none of this battle scene versus the other scene. Another thing, which I actually, in my previous video, I talked about my thoughts on Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I forgot to add one of my opinions on it, is the fact that your character is pretty blank. You're used to it, but in this one he's even more. He's instead of being neutral, he has a slight little smile going on, and it bothers me because of all the things he's like. All this stuff is happening around him, and he's just going. I'm like, really? You know, you not shocked or anything? I don't know. It always, but there were a couple of scenes where they did fix it. That was their more fully animated scenes in a sense, you know. And the other ones, how they'd show like use the other like their bigger models or whatnot. But this one, like, as in they're not like little flex or stale or whatnot with their movement. You know, their movements more fluid and things like that. When they actually turn instead of not turning their heads, which I don't know. But I mean, things like that. Plus, one of the things you can do in Sun and Moon is the fact that you will initiate a battle with someone without actually them walking over. You know, that even more. Though, granted, that's another thing I forgot to mention in Sun and Moon. I wish they would just continue and say whatever they're going to say after the battle without actually having to go to them. Especially the ones that, like, literally, there's these dudes that are on a ledge and they will have a battle with you, you know, with you not on the ledge, but in order to talk to them, you have to go around just to get on the ledge, just to talk to them to see what their post-battle thing is, which bothered me. Anyways, but there's some other things. I mean, but my biggest thing that I would love for them to add, and I don't know if you consider it a spoiler or not, then again, no, the other person did, is the fact I would love if you could go to another region in this game. The other one, they made this thing happened, and it made me think, that, oh my goodness, are we going to go to this? Are we really going to go to this other region? I'll go ahead and spoil it. Kanto. It's, like, it made you think that, oh, maybe there might be a little thing going on. Maybe you get to go to Kanto. I'm like, oh my goodness, can we go to Kanto? Or, nope, sorry. But I would love if they actually included in there an expanded universe, not just have it in Unova. Let us go, not Unova, Alola, but let us go to another region. Granted, I mean, for those playing, like, oh, if you're going to Kanto, why can't we go to Johto too? But eh, just being able to go to another region would have been awesome. Especially, like, if we got to go to, like, a lot of people thought that we could go to Kalos with those little souvenirs, that special souvenir you can find after you do a bunch of stuff. I never actually did get one, but just because I never attempted to get one. But, yeah, so you could get this thing, and, like, oh, maybe you can go to, maybe you get to go to, Kalos. I mean, back to Kalos, something like that. Either way, I would love if you could go to another region. That would be another thing. Like, honestly, gonna have all this better processing power, possibly more memory, and things like that. Why can't we go to another region? That would have been awesome. And again, another thing I would like to is bring back the player search system. I mean, admittedly, I didn't use it as much, I'll admit, but with the way the game would be doing it, I'm like, why can't we? I do hope that if they don't let us have multiple save files, I definitely hope that we're going to be able to, the save data is going to be saved on the system, I mean, on the game itself or something like that. Because admittedly, since, I have no friends, I mean, no, I have friends, yeah. I don't know, I would love to be able to get, like, either two copies or use the same copy and have two different characters I can have them battle against each other. Or something like that, So so at least do one of those two, since honestly, if they're doing it that way, it makes me since the Switch has been confirmed that we're using like little things like the 3DS has and little game cards instead, which to me it's a little interesting, but it makes me wonder: is the save data going to be going to these SD cards now instead of being able to put it on the system? Which otherwise, but those are just kind of some of my thoughts about whether it is on, Pokemon Stars is a third version. Um, Admittedly, if it's not, it's a couple of things if it's not. Um, the first thing, whether or not it's a main series Pokemon game. I'm sorry, dudes, but please make it a main series Pokemon game. The spin-offs are fun and everything, but I'll be honest, the Switch is awesome. But one of the things I would love to have on the Switch would be a main series Pokemon game, pretty close to the start. That would be awesome. Even though I think they did confirm that it's probably not going to be at an actual full-on launch title, but within like the time frame of a few months. Either way, it's coming out 2017, the same year that the Switch is coming out. Just later. So it'd be nice to be able to actually play this game, but preferably if it's an actual more of a main series game. More because, yeah, Pokemon, Tekken, and all that stuff, they're fine. It's just, I don't know, I just want to be able to play something main series or something like that. If it's not, I'm like, I don't know, maybe Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. That'd be the only thing that I would maybe think that would be nice if it was. And if it was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, please let it. There's two big things that I want. Number one, please let us be able to choose from all the starter Pokemon. Granted, at the very least, let us play as all the starter Pokemon. Give us Pikachu. Oh, Pikachu is a starter Pokemon, yellow version. But like, give us our Pikachu's, Charmanders, etc. And also maybe throw in a couple like Riolu, Eevee. Technically is kind of technically a starter Pokemon if you base it on, Pokemon Battle, not Pokemon XE. Technically, he's the first Pokemon you get, so he's technically a starter Pokemon. Or things like that. And please don't do like the one game nid when you can only do the Universe Pokemon. Though with that being said, I do kind of like these guys. Admittedly, they're not my favorites, but they're better than they're better than the Unova Pokemon, Unova starters in my opinion. And the second thing, because like literally, it's sad. The one Pokemon game that made it that you can only choose the Unova Pokemon starters, Pikachu, and that Axew. That one game was the only game that lets you evolve your starter before you finish the game. The only one. You know, you could evolve your starter and your partner. The other ones, sorry, we're not gonna let you do that. I'm like, really? And if they did, I really hope they kind of go back to the old recruitment thing. Mainly because, I mean, I didn't play it, but I've read about it. I'm like, so wait, does that mean we can't have, like, say if we want a full team of Eevees? No, bad example. Um, I don't know, say if we want to have a full team of Charmanders, or just two Charmanders. You know, we can't have that? You know, if we want multiple of one Pokemon on the team, or if we evolve the Pokemon, we can't no longer have the previous evolution. Like we can't have a Pikachu, Raichu team. I don't know. That's one of the things that I really hope they take that out if Stars does turn out to be Mystery Dungeon, or just the next Mystery Dungeon game. Um, Because, yeah, even though recruitment isn't as easy, but I still kind of prefer it. Or maybe a mixture of the two, you know, especially like special ones like legendary Pokemon or something like that. But it does bother me the fact that, like, if you evolve the character, you know, you don't get another one. Or the pre-evolution. Like, if you want a team of, in my case, like one of the characters, I mean, teams I have is referred to as Team Striker, which had been a Torchic, a Chikorita, a Riolu, and a Scyther. But if I wanted to have not just those four, but also have a second team of the same characters, but of their evolved forms, I can't have the original guys again. I don't know. So that'd be interesting if that's what Stars was. Um, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Stars or something like that. I don't know. It would be interesting. Again, I like the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series. Unfortunately, I did kind of stop at. I mean, I've only played the first two sets because, yeah, I wasn't really impressed because the Unova one was the biggest reason why I didn't get that one. Super Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, I think that was the name of it. I mean, Gates of Infinity. That was the main reason why I didn't get that one. And the newest one, Super Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, I just didn't get it just because I haven't gotten it yet. I've been getting other things and things like that. But again, oh, plus the whole client thing going on. I'm just like, yeah. Let's see, some other examples. If it's another Pokemon Tekken, I'm like, really? Why don't you make a second Pokemon Tekken so close? I wouldn't be very impressed. Like another thing, like is the new game going to be able to use Mii's? Like can the Switch use Mii characters or an amiibo? I mean, that'd be kind of dumb if they don't have amiibo or Mii character support. Would be annoying for me for Mii's anyways, because I have like 100+ Mii's, so have to be able to recreate them all would be a little bit of a pain. But I don't know. To me, they're always custom characters, and then you have the amiibo. So what? You can only use them on 3DS games now? On the Switch? I don't know. Anyways, it does make me wonder how it's going to be done. If it's just another main series Pokemon game, I would prefer if you basically I hope you can go to multiple regions. Though I'd probably say it'd be interesting if they remade Kanto in a sense, if that's what Stars was. But not necessarily a full-on remake of Kanto, but like a sequel, like Red 2, Red 2 and Blue 2, or Blue 2, haha, it's kind of like Bluetooth. Oh, sorry. Anyways, like a Kanto remake. I mean, not a Kanto remake, but a Kanto sequel, like Kanto 2, or something like that. And you can not only just go to Kanto, but then once you complete Kanto, then you can go to Johto. Because, I mean, they're right there. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to go to Johto, too. That'd be kind of weird. It's like, man, I can't get past this invisible wall to go to Johto! There's another reason why, but I can't get into it. Be Kanto. But I would like it if the new one, especially if it's not a reboot, even if it was a reboot, to kind of go on a little bit more explanation about some of the other things that happen in Sun and Moon, or expand on it, or something. I don't know. Well, you can bet your dollar if it's a main series, you're going to expand on it somehow. I'm really kind of hoping we get some answers more than more mysteries. Anyways, yeah, really, that's pretty much it. So, hey, if you like this, give it a like. Kind of weird, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I would like to mention another thing. Have been working. I might be working on another project. Let's see, videos. Come on. There we go. It's this. Basically, I'm thinking about working on making a small cartoon, and hey, maybe you might like it, maybe you won't. Either way, I'm probably going to be using like pictures like this for background, and then you have the characters be more sprite based. Um, so yeah, if you like it, awesome. If not, then who are you? And get out of my channel. Wait, sorry. Anyways, so yeah, so that's it. Until next time, I'll catch you later. See ya.